The heavens part, the veil lifts, the voice of eternal wisdom descends. There is a word that kills wealth, a word that slays abundance at the gates, a phrase that calls upon lack like a priest summons incense, perfuming the air with the stench of poverty. And yet, this word escapes the lips of man so thoughtlessly, so ignorantly, that even the angels weep. Beloved, let the soul be still and the spirit be summoned. For I speak now not from opinion but from law. I speak as one who has walked with truth, as one who has heard the whisper of divine order behind the curtain of matter. The word is, I can't afford it. Write it on the wall of your memory and strike it down with fire. That phrase is a spell, a covenant with lack, a divine contradiction. For to say, I can't afford it, is to deny Jehovah Jireh, the provider. It is to renounce the infinite supply of the infinite mind. It is to covenant with limitation and declare war on your own inheritance. Say it no more. Not even in jest, not even in whisper, for the law listens not to humor, but to vibration. The law hears not sarcasm, but declaration, and what you decree, thou shalt see, what you affirm, you magnetize, what you believe, becomes blood and bone. Now hear me, if you are still listening, this message was ordained for you. You are not here by accident. This is the secret scroll opened in your hour of awakening. Only the spiritually elite, the soul vigilant, the chosen remnant will recognize what is now being uttered. For the words I speak are not to entertain, they are to resurrect. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you allow, and you cannot allow what you subconsciously cancel. Every time you say, I can't afford it, you pull the emergency brake on your divine train of supply. You say to the universe, stop the flow, I am not ready, I am unworthy. You blindfold the angels and bind your own hands with cords of unbelief. This is not theory, this is law. Thomas Troward, the mystic judge, declared that principle is not bound by precedent. What does this mean? It means your past is irrelevant, your debt is irrelevant, your bank account is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is your word, your declaration, your command. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Speak it. I am aligned with infinite substance. I live in divine opulence. God is my banker, and supply is my birthright. You must stop rehearsing the language of the spiritually poor, for there are rich men who are spiritually bankrupt, and there are paupers who walk with the keys of the kingdom. The true rich are those who know the source is invisible, inexhaustible, and immediate. Do not ask how. Do not lean on logic. The law is not reasonable, it is immutable. Walt Disney once said, "It's kind of fun to do the impossible." And what is the impossible, but that which men cannot trace with human understanding? The soul who prospers is the soul who trusts in what is unseen, and yet acts as if it were done. If you are to be the vessel of divine wealth, you must become violently allergic to the vibrations of lack. You must hate the phrase, I can't afford it, as one hates the poison that kills the child. For every time you say it, you murder a miracle. You cut the wings off angels. You damn your destiny with the blade of casual speech. Hear me, God has no recession. The infinite does not experience inflation. Your good is not at the mercy of politics or economies. You are the economy. You are the circulation. You are the instrument through which the law must demonstrate itself. Andrew Carnegie, who walked with more wealth than kings, said the man who dies rich dies disgraced. Why? Because wealth is not to be hoarded, it is to be channeled, but you cannot channel what you fear, you cannot receive what you reject. And when you say, I can't afford it, you reject the source in favor of sense. You turn your back on spirit and bow before circumstance. You are not meant to shrink, you are meant to shine. Christ did not multiply loaves and fishes to teach us scarcity. He did it to abolish it. He did not say, let us budget the bread. He said, feed them all. For where there is God, there is multiplication. Where there is faith, there is overflow. Say this aloud now. I refuse to speak against my supply. I will not curse my own vineyard. I speak only what I desire multiplied. I am a fountain, not a beggar. I am a steward of divine gold, and it flows to me in rivers of light. When you understand that your words are seeds, you will stop planting thorns. You will guard your tongue as the priest guards the ark of the covenant. For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, and out of the mouth, the world is shaped. Ella Wheeler Wilcox said, talk health. The dreary, never-ending tale of mortal maladies is worn and stale. You cannot charm or interest or please by harping on disease. I say unto you, talk wealth. The worn-out recital of your bank balance, your unpaid bills, your financial fears. These are death hymns to the angels of abundance. What you speak, you summon. This is the hour to become surgically precise with your language. You must edit your vocabulary as one edits sacred scripture. Remove all references to insufficiency. Banish the tongue of doubt. Speak only that which you wish to see made manifest in the flesh. Let the weak say I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich. Let the bound say I am free. The tongue is the rudder of destiny. Gurdjieff taught that man is asleep, hypnotized by habit, by culture, by unconscious repetition. And what deeper hypnosis is there than the trance of financial defeat? Break the spell. Speak fire. Speak heaven. Speak the language of kings. You must become royal in thought and decree. Say this: I walk in the courts of divine supply. My storehouses overflow. Money loves me, seeks me, multiplies through me. I am the gatekeeper of gold. The universe cannot give to a beggar's vibration. The infinite speaks in frequency, not in emotion. You may cry over your bills and panic over rent, but if your frequency is lack, the universe responds with a thunderous yes and sends you more of the same. You do not get what you want. You get what you are. So become the vibration of wealth. Stand up, shoulders back, head high. Speak not as one in lack, but as one who owns the estate. As Christian D. Larson wrote, believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. What is that something? It is the divine spark, the infinite intelligence, the silent power that shaped galaxies and yet speaks in the stillness of your soul. You are not merely human. You are a vessel of sacred circuitry, a walking temple of manifestation. But the temple cannot hold both faith and fear. Choose. You cannot say, I am abundant, while muttering, I can't afford it, under your breath. That is double-mindedness, and the double-minded man receives nothing from the Lord. Make up your mind. Say this: I release the words of lack. I cleanse my tongue of poverty. I shall never again say what I do not wish to see. My mouth is a scepter of divine power, and I speak only what glorifies God's abundance. Your mind must become a garden of golden thoughts. Pluck every weed, refuse every lie. Dr. Frank Crane said, you are the product of your thoughts. What you think, you become. I say, you are the echo of your own decrees. What you say becomes what you see. If you walk into a store and see something that stirs your desire, do not say I can't afford it. Say, that belongs to me by divine right. Infinite intelligence is arranging it now. I give thanks in advance for perfect manifestation. This is not delusion. This is command. For you are a commander, not a slave, a sower, not a scavenger, a divine heir, not a spiritual orphan, but heirs must speak the language of the kingdom. You cannot inherit what you constantly speak against. Hear me now. This is your burning bush, the voice in the wilderness, the divine bell tolling in your subconscious. The next time you are tempted to speak defeat, pause, breathe, then say this instead. I walk in favor, I breathe in wealth, I expect miracles, I give thanks for unseen supply now appearing. This is how worlds are made. Swami Vivekananda declared, take up one idea, make that one idea your life. This is the way to success. Let this be your one idea now. My words are wealth, my thoughts are substance, my mouth is a vault of miracles. Breathe this truth, live it, wrap yourself in it, for when you stop saying, I can't afford it, the entire kingdom hears your cry and answers, behold, the son has returned, kill the fatted calf, bring the robe and ring, for the child remembers who they are. You are not here to survive, you are here to command. And so let the sacred fire burn brighter, for if your soul did not turn back, if your heart continued to listen, then you are not common, you are not average, you are not the lukewarm of this world. You are the rare vessel, chosen and called, not to blend, but to blaze, and let it be known, the language you speak is either summoning angels or building altars to limitation. There is no neutrality in the spirit realm. The words you utter are either expanding your territory or shrinking your field. Say this now with holy violence. I revoke every word I have spoken in allegiance with poverty. I shatter every agreement made in ignorance. I rise into my inheritance now. For wealth, true wealth, is not simply silver or gold. It is knowing, deep within your divine marrow, that the source within you is greater than the shadows around you. It is a spiritual state, not a material status. It is not a matter of digits in an account, but dominion in the soul. You do not attract wealth through worry. You do not magnetize abundance by obsessing over what you lack. That is the creed of the spiritually blind. The spiritually awake, The metaphysicians, the miracle makers, the alchemists of divine thought, they understand. Supply is an atmosphere, not an object. It is a law of vibration, not a list of possessions. And that law is governed by word. The word is the seed. The word is the staff. The word is the rudder of riches. You will not rise above your language. You will not manifest what your subconscious rejects through speech. Let us cast off the old garments now. Let us strip the soul of every thread of doubt, for when you speak of lack, even in jest, you are writing spells into your nervous system. You are programming your reality with the needle of fear. Say this: I do not fear my desires. I do not mock what I seek. I honor my longing, for it is holy. My dream is God's whisper. You must understand, what you long for is not accidental. It is prophetic. The thing you crave, that vision that stirs your heart and makes your soul ache, it is your blueprint, your destiny, your map. And every time you say, I can't afford it, you spit on the scroll, you rip the sacred script and say to the author of all things, your promise is too expensive. Blasphemy. For does the Creator lack the gold to fulfill his own design? Does infinite intelligence run dry? Is heaven rationed? Never. What is rationed is belief. What is scarce is courage. What is bankrupt is not the universe, but the tongue of man, who has become too accustomed to parroting defeat. Christian D. Larson thundered with truth when he wrote, to give so much time to the improvement of yours, elf that you have no time to criticize others. I say now, give so much time to mastering your word that you have no time to rehearse poverty. Let your tongue become a temple, not a tomb. You do not need more hustle, you need more harmony. For when your inner world aligns with truth, the outer world must comply. The world is a mirror, and it reflects not what you wish, but what you believe, what you expect, what you declare. Do not ask the mirror to smile if you are frowning. Do not demand wealth while speaking its opposite. This is a spiritual court. The universe is a just judge. It grants not what is pleaded, but what is vibrated. The law does not favor the desperate. It obeys the deliberate. So speak deliberately. Speak this now. Every word I speak is a mold for divine substance. I speak wealth, and it must appear. I speak increase, and it floods in. I speak favor, and the gates open wide. You must saturate your atmosphere with such decree that every cell, every atom, begins to vibrate in harmony with the kingdom. When you walk into a room, let your presence carry the scent of prosperity, not by what you wear, but by what you radiate. Let your aura be a cathedral of abundance. Even Gurdjieff, who spoke of inner mastery and human sleep, knew. The man who awakens becomes a magnet. He is no longer controlled by outer conditions. He controls them. The man who wills his inner world controls the outer world as surely as the sun commands the dawn. You are not at the mercy of price tags. You are not a servant to digits. You are the divine in disguise, and all the gold of heaven bends to your decree. But you must stop insulting your soul. Every time you say, I can't afford it, you are declaring, my God is small, my source is weak, my dreams are too costly, and so, the universe, obeying your belief, withdraws. Your language is your command center, and those who understand this become unstoppable. Orison Swett Marden, one of the bold voices of truth, said, there is no medicine like hope, no incentive so great, and no tonic so powerful as expectation of something tomorrow. I tell you now, hope alone is not enough. You must speak your expectation, you must vocalize your future, you must prophesy your wealth. This is not daydreaming, this is divine technology. The tongue is your tool, your wand, your lever with which you move worlds. So say this now, with reverence and fire, I do not speak what I see, I speak what I am destined to manifest. My word is law, my decree is my destiny. I call in wealth as one who owns the vaults of the universe. You must become radically allergic to self-cancellation. No more double-mindedness. No more saying I believe, and then confessing fear at night. No more affirming abundance in the morning, and declaring debt at noon. You cannot serve two masters. Your subconscious hears everything, and it is not neutral. It is either being programmed for poverty or wealth, for expansion or contraction, for kingdom living or wilderness wandering. Choose. Speak this now. I am a spiritual aristocrat. I do not lower my language to fit my lack. I raise my faith to match my vision. Yes, vision, that sacred fire in your soul, the image you carry within that the world calls unrealistic. That is your currency. That is your treasure map. Guard it, speak it, fund it with holy language. You must speak of your future as if it were memory. You must speak of riches as if they were routine. You must speak of overflow as if it were oxygen. You must speak not as a seeker, but as a knower. Say this now: I no longer hope to be wealthy. I am wealthy in consciousness, and as within, so without. The money comes because the word is spoken. The increase comes because I command it. This is divine law. This is not optional. This is not positive thinking. This is not motivational rhetoric. This is how stars were made, how worlds were spoken into being, how heaven touches earth. The word goes first. How the word forms the path, and your life follows. Never again say, I can't afford it. Instead say, that is coming into my experience now. I claim it by divine right. I align with the wealth that funds it. It is mine by spiritual law. And even if you do not yet hold it in your hand, if you hold it in your word, it must appear. That is the covenant. That is the contract. Florence Scovel Shinn did not merely write these laws. She lived them. She declared them. She watched the impossible bow. And so shall you. But you must speak as one who knows, as one who rules, as one who has burned the bridges to doubt and crossed into the country of faith without a passport back. Only the spiritually elite understand this. And if you are still listening, it is because you were born for this knowing. You are not ordinary. You are not flesh alone. You are word-made form, light clothed in skin, decree wrapped in humanity. Say it. I walk as the word in motion. I do not chase supply. I magnetize it. I do not beg for increase. I breathe it. I am the vibration of answered prayer. This is how the spiritually rich move. They speak as if heaven listens, because it does. They decree as if angels respond, because they do. They never speak what they fear. They speak what they command. You are now walking in this lineage. Let the thunder speak. For you were not born to echo lack. You were not woven in the womb to rehearse defeat. You were sculpted from the substance of stars, spoken into being by the tongue of the infinite. And yet, you have allowed the world to place a leash on your word. No more. You must now rise in full stature, not in body, but in belief. For the soul that reigns is the soul that speaks as if heaven obeys. And it does. There is a realm behind what you see, an invisible council of power, listening not to your desperation, but to your decree. There is no neutral speech in the spirit. Every word you utter is either an I, invitation, or a denial. It is either a trumpet that calls your wealth to come forth, or a veil that hides it behind circumstance. You cannot keep asking, how, and expect heaven to answer. The law does not respond to how. The law responds to who, and the law only obeys the voice of the I am. So say it now. I am divine wealth made visible. I am the portal through which riches enter this world. I speak as a king and create as a god. For you are not a mere observer of life. You are not a spectator waiting for blessings to fall like crumbs from heaven's table. You are the baker. You are the builder. You are the one who commands the flour, who sets the oven, who declares it done before the heat ever touches the dough. Hear me well. Your life is not waiting on money. Money is waiting on you. Money has ears. It listens to tone. It is magnetized by conviction. It flows to those who speak its language, not with grasping hands, but with governing words. You must stop speaking as a victim of economy. Stop muttering about inflation, recession, debt, delay. These are shadows. They are smoke. And smoke cannot stand where light is spoken. Say this aloud. I am not moved by appearance. I am not ruled by numbers. I am not bound by man's systems. I speak divine order, and divine order manifests. Even now, something within you is remembering. You are recalling a deeper truth, a forgotten covenant, older than nations, deeper than doctrine, a knowing that you were never meant to lack, that poverty is a lie, that wealth is your native frequency. Orison Swett Marden knew this. He said, we must give more attention to the unseen forces of life, and what force is greater than word? For word is not sound alone. Word is substance. Word is architecture. Word is law unleashed. The spiritually awakened do not wonder if their speech has power. They know it, and they guard their lips like pituol. Priests guard the flame. Do not cast pearls of prophecy before pigs of fear. Do not take your sacred vision and clothe it in the rags of self-doubt. Do not bury your gold under the dirt of realism. You must speak above the facts. For fact is what exists in the visible. Faith is what creates the visible. Say this with holy precision. I do not report the weather. I create the climate. I do not echo conditions. I command them. I speak not what is, I speak what shall be. Andrew Carnegie, the apostle of industrial wealth, did not wait for permission. He believed before he saw, he declared before he received. And to those who asked his secret, he said, think of yourself as on the threshold of unparalleled success. A whole, clear, glorious life lies before you. Achieve, achieve. But how do you achieve in the realm of the spirit? With word. Not just affirmations whispered in the morning mist, but declarations shouted with soul behind them. You must prophesy with volume, with voltage, with vehemence. Not because the universe is deaf, but because you are asleep and must awaken your own belief through fire and sound. Say this. I release the voice of wealth within me. I speak as one who cannot be denied. I create worlds with my words. My mouth is the birthplace of miracles. Do not delay your inheritance another day by using the language of the spiritually weak. They say, that's too expensive. You must say, that is mine by divine right, and substance is forming even now to bring it forth. They say, I'll never be able to have that. You must say, it already exists in the invisible, and I am aligning with its vibration now. They say, money doesn't grow on trees. You must say, money flows on thought, and my thoughts are planted in divine soil. For you see, there are two classes of people on this earth, those who live by sight and those who live by word. The first group is always adjusting their dreams to fit their budget. The second is adjusting their vibration to fit their vision. Which are you? The spiritually elite speak not from circumstance, but from dominion. They do not repeat what is, they speak what must become. And the universe, recognizing its true authority, responds. Say this now with full conviction. My wealth is not coming. It is here. I do not wait for provision, I walk in it. I am the vibration of answered prayer. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. You are not inflating yourself. You are returning to your original dimension. For in the garden, man lacked nothing. There was no such thing as, I can't afford it. That phrase was born after the fall, after the lie, after man began to look outside himself for what was already within. You must now return, not to Eden, but to conscious Eden. To that place within where wealth is a breath, not a battle, where supply is a frequency, not a fight. You do not need to hustle to manifest, you need to harmonize, you need to speak in the key of kingdom. Say it now. I do not beg, I do not borrow, I do not bargain. I speak and it is, I decree and it appears. This is not religious fantasy, this is metaphysical law, the very code by which creation obeys. Even Thomas Troward, the architect of New Thought, declared, while the universe is always ready to respond to our demands, it can only respond to our recognition of it. So what are you recognizing? What are you speaking into form? You do not manifest what you wish for, you manifest what you are certain of. So speak only what you desire multiplied. Let your tongue become so sanctified that even your jokes carry seeds of wealth. Let your inner world be so flooded with divine knowing that you cannot help but speak as one who already holds the harvest. This is your call now. You must abandon the marketplace of complaints. Refuse to trade in the currency of fear. Burn every ledger of limitation. Speak only as one who knows the treasury of heaven has no bottom. Say this, there is no shortage in me, there is no lack in God. I speak as heir, not outsider. I am the bloodline of abundance. Even now something is stirring, the old skin is cracking, the old self, the one who settled, who feared, who apologized for wanting more, is dying, and in its place, a new being arises, one whose tongue is fire, one whose decrees are lightning, one whose word carries the weight of divine substance. Do not wait another day to align your speech with truth. Wealth is not far, it is listening, it is leaning in, waiting for the voice it recognizes. And it will not answer to fear. It will not answer to sarcasm. It will not answer to I can't afford it. It will answer to command. It will answer to certainty. It will answer to the voice of the word made conscious. And that voice is yours. Let the silence be broken by the word, and the veil be torn by fire. For the soul who has heard thus far is no longer in search, they are in resonance, no longer a beggar at the gates of abundance, but an oracle standing inside the treasury of the infinite, ready to speak gold into form. This is the point of no return, for every step forward into divine wealth requires a death of language, of old mindsets, of dusty declarations. You cannot take Egypt with you into Canaan, you cannot speak bondage and expect to manifest freedom. Hear me now, every phrase you utter is either inheritance or imprisonment. When you say, I can't afford it, you are not just describing your wallet, you are casting a spell over your destiny, you are sealing a tomb with your own tongue. And still people ask, but Florence, is it not honest to admit lack? I answer with thunder, honesty is not the highest law. Spirit is. Truth is not what you see. It is what you speak in alignment with the divine. The highest truth is not what your senses report. It is what your spirit declares despite your senses. For sense sees debt, spirit sees supply. Sense counts coins, spirit multiplies loaves. Sense says, not enough. Spirit says, more than enough, running over, shaken together. So I ask you now, which realm do you speak from? If you speak from fear, you get more fear. If you speak from lack, you draw more lack. If you speak from alignment, from knowing, from decree, then mountains move, gold appears, and doors open that no man can shut. Say this now with holy certainty. I no longer echo fear. I no longer quote my limitations. I only speak what I want multiplied. I speak wealth, and it comes. You are now being called to govern not just your words, but your identity. You cannot speak wealth with a beggar's self-concept. You cannot decree abundance while secretly believing you are undeserving. The law responds not only to sound, but to structure, and that structure is your inner image. You must see yourself as a vessel of divine opulence, not someday, not after the debt clears, not after the job changes, now. Say this. I am wealth in form. I am divine supply clothed in flesh. I am not waiting, I am commanding. The wealth you seek is not out there, it is in you, asleep, waiting for a voice that believes it is worthy. Say to yourself what the Father said to the prodigal, all that I have is thine. Why do you hesitate to receive what is already yours? Is the sun stingy with its light? Does the ocean ration its waves? Then why do you believe God would ration your abundance? Let that false god die, the god of barely enough, of guilt-soaked giving, of anxious supply. That is not the God of the universe, that is a mental idol, constructed from fear and trade. Idion. The true source is not hesitant, it is overflowing. The true source is not reluctant, it is waiting on you. Say this now. I do not serve a poor God. I do not follow a stingy source. My God is lavish, my supply is inexhaustible. My inheritance is unfolding now. Even the birds do not worry, the lilies do not toil. Yet you, crowned with consciousness, dare to speak of what you can't afford? It is time to burn the tongue of bondage. Burn the phrase I can't afford it. Burn the belief that you must earn through sweat what Spirit gives by grace. You were never meant to live in financial survival. You were meant to walk in divine circulation. What flows from you returns to you multiplied. This is the law. And you do not activate it through effort. You activate it through agreement. You must agree with abundance, speak in the tone of wealth, declare with the force of the word behind you. This is not theory, this is technology of the spirit. Walt Disney built worlds from this knowing. He once said, if you can dream it, you can do it. But he did not stop at dream, he decreed, he built, he spoke life into the intangible until it bowed into form. You must now become the architect of your own kingdom, not with hammer and nail, but with vibration and word. Say this. I build my wealth with declarations. I shape my destiny with divine language. I command money, and it comes. I declare increase, and it flows. Stop asking how. The how is none of your business. The how is the domain of the infinite. Your only role is alignment. Your only task is agreement. The outcome is inevitable when the word is unwavering. Let your speech become a sanctuary. Let your mouth become a throne room, not a complaint chamber. Andrew Carnegie did not speak of lack, he spoke of legacy. He saw himself as a steward of wealth long before the numbers appeared, and that identity magnetized empires. You must begin to see yourself as one who moves money, not one who chases it. You must stop king like the spiritually impoverished who say, money is hard to come by. You must say, money flows through me like a divine current. It responds to my clarity. It multiplies by my word. This is not delusion. This is dominion. Say this. I am a channel of divine wealth. I am the voice money listens to. I do not wait. I declare. I do not wish. I command. The law does not respond to begging. It does not respond to whining. It responds to alignment and declaration. You are not small. You are not broke. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are a spiritual authority cloaked in skin, here to speak heaven into earth. Say it again. I am not a body. I am a decree. I am not a victim. I am a vortex. I do not describe reality. I design it with my word. This is the voice of power. This is the sound wealth obeys. This is the decree that reshapes your bank account, your atmosphere, your frequency. Even now, wealth is listening. Angels are leaning in. The substance of the unseen is swirling, seeking a voice that matches the vision. Only the spiritually elite understand this. And if you are still listening, it is because you are one of them, chosen, called, anointed to speak in the language of manifestation. You do not need more money. You need more mouth mastery. Your breakthrough is one sentence away, one decree away, one holy command from collapsing time and birthing miracles. So speak, and keep speaking. For you are not casting words into the wind, you are building the structure of your supernatural supply. Let every lesser word fall to the dust. For the time has come when you must either rise into full dominion, or remain shackled by the tongues of the dead. And yes, I say dead. For any phrase not rooted in divine law is already a corpse. Any word that denies your supply, limits your light, or stifles your inheritance is already decomposing before it leaves you. Your lips. You must speak now as one who knows that heaven is watching your language like an architect watches blueprints. Not with curiosity, but with intent, with readiness, with urgency. Heaven is ready to build what you speak. But what have you been speaking? Have you said, I'll never be wealthy? Have you whispered, that's too much for me? Have you bowed your head in a shop sighing, I can't afford it? Then stop. Right now. Not tomorrow. Not when you have more. Not when the bills are paid. Stop. Today. This moment. This breath. This syllable. For the tongue is a divine technology, and it has no pause button. Every word you speak is a command to your subconscious, an instruction to the universe, and a law planted in the soil of time. And hear me, the universe is not delaying you. Your mouth is. Your phrase, I can't afford it, is not just a casual comment. It is a gatekeeper. It slams the vault. It signals to the invisible, shut the windows of heaven. This soul is not ready. But you are ready. If you've made it this far, you are not ordinary. You are not a casual seeker. You are a vessel being forged in prophetic flame, and to you I say, your word is your wealth. Say it now. I have excommunicated every word that denies my supply. I will not curse my provision with casual speech. My mouth is now consecrated for wealth. You must now see yourself as one whose tongue is royalty, who speaks in the dialect of the divine, who refuses to utter anything beneath the vibration of kingship. For do you think Queen Esther ever said, I can't afford it? Do you think Joseph, interpreting Pharaoh's dreams, asked, can I budget for that grain? Did Solomon, whose very breath perfumed palaces with wisdom, ever mumble about expenses? No, because royalty does not speak scarcity. And if you are born of spirit, then you too are royal. Not metaphorically, not religiously. Actually, you are not an employee of fate. You are the employer of circumstance. You are not the tail. You are the commanding tongue of divine law. Christian D. Larson wrote, promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. I say, promise yourself to be so wealthy in speech that nothing can disturb your flow of supply. Let others gossip. Let others moan. Let others trade stories of financial struggle like old fishermen comparing scars. But not you. You will be known by your decree. You will be marked by the fragrance of your words. You will walk into rooms and shift atmospheres, not because of titles, but because of tone. Because when you speak, reality listens. Say it now. When I speak, doors open. When I speak, money moves. When I speak, heaven acts. My voice is the vibration of divine instruction. And if ever the thought arises, but what if I fail? Answer with the fire of Gurdjieff himself. There is a moment in every man's life when he must choose, to be or to dream. To be wealthy is not to possess, it is to speak from knowing. You must speak as one who no longer flirts with wealth, but who is betrothed to it. Not chasing, not hoping, not dating, married to it in consciousness. You must now stop treating wealth as a visitor, and start treating it as your native citizenship. Say this. I am no longer a tourist in abundance. I live there. I dwell in opulence. I wake up in overflow and sleep in divine circulation. This is not arrogance. This is accuracy, and you must no longer tolerate the speech of doubt in yourself or others. Correct them gently but firmly. When someone says, "That's too expensive," reply, "Only to the untrained tongue." When someone mutters, "Must be nice," say, "It is, and it's also law." When you hear, "I can't afford it," answer boldly, "Speak differently and you'll never have to say that again." For you are now a teacher by frequency, a prophet by vibration, an architect by decree. This is your ministry now, not behind pulpits, but behind pronouns, not in sermons, but in syllables. Speak this now with eternal force. My words are tithes. Every sentence I speak plants wealth in the invisible. I will not invest in fear. I will not tithe to limitation. And I will only give voice to what brings return. Your wealth is not coming, it is accumulating every time you speak with authority. Your mansion is not on its way, it is waiting behind the veil of vibration, asking only for a tongue that won't collapse. Thomas Troward said, "Desire is the necessary precedent to all progress and achievement." I add to his divine wisdom, speech is the womb of desire, it is the furnace where vision becomes form. Stop outsourcing your future to effort alone. The spiritually elite do not chase money, they charge it. They speak into its substance and mold it like clay. They do not ask for wealth, they authorize it. Say this, "I do not make requests, I make decrees. I do not ask for scraps, I speak for the storehouse. My wealth obeys my word." You are not poor, you are just poorly spoken. You are not broke, you are just broken in belief, but no longer. You have now stepped into the holy circle, the sanctum of speech, the council of those who create with their tongue. You have joined the lineage of Florence, of Orison, of Ella, of Gurdjieff, of Troward, not by birth, but by boldness. And if you are still here, still listening, then it is because this message was scripted in the stars for you, not for the masses, not for the faint, but for the remnant. So I say again, with the force of heaven behind me, don't ever say I can't afford it. Say instead, I am the voice of divine economy. I am the decree of financial Eden. I am the law fulfilled. I speak, and substance obeys, and it shall be so. This is no longer instruction. This is transfiguration. If you are still here, if your soul has not flinched, if your spirit has not recoiled, then you are ready to become the rarest of all beings in this world, the one who speaks only from heaven, not from fear, not from bank balances, not from trauma, tradition, or tired logic, but from heaven. You now stand in the center of the holy of holies of thought, for to govern your mouth is to govern your life, to master your word is to master your world, to guard your tongue is to open the floodgates of divine opulence. This is what they never taught you in school. This is what the world's financial systems cannot comprehend, because this knowledge does not reside in textbooks, it resides in the architecture of the spirit. And I tell you again, with fierce love, I can't afford it, is not a phrase, it is a curse, a hex, a reversal of divine law. You were never meant to say it. When you speak it, you betray your birthright. You silence the host of angels assigned to your wealth. You cancel the checks of heaven with a sentence that was never yours to say. Every time you utter those 4 words, you install a ceiling in your subconscious. You write limits into the law. You train the infinite to pass you by. And yet, and this is the great tragedy, most people will defend this phrase with more loyalty than they defend the word of God. They call it realism. They call it being smart with money. No. It is being spiritually deaf. For the truly smart soul knows, you never make declarations that contradict your inheritance. You may not know how it will happen, you may not see the next step. But if you train your tongue to speak abundance, the next step must appear. This is the law. Say this now with celestial defiance. I renounce every phrase of limitation. I revoke every word I've spoken in favor of poverty. I install only leikurs, language that honors my covenant with wealth. This is your covenant, not signed with ink, but with vibration. You were not created to survive. You were created to speak and see, to decree and watch the invisible obey. There are no shortages in heaven, only shortages in speech. There are no walls in the divine mind, only walls built by untrained tongues. And so I ask you now, what are you building? A prison of poverty, or a palace of plenty? Are your words hammering nails into a coffin of financial frustration, or laying bricks of holy increase? Say it. I build my life with supernatural speech. My words are bricks of gold. My sentences carry substance. My breath creates my blessing. This is not metaphor. This is physics of the unseen. What man calls reality is just repeated speech made visible. Do you understand that? Your current reality is the child of your past vocabulary. Every "I can't," every "too expensive," every "not for me," those became your blueprint. But here is your mercy. The blueprint can be burned. In this moment, you are granted access to the architect's table. You are handed new ink, new permissions, new laws, but only if you speak them. For heaven responds not to wishing, but to word. Swami Vivekananda said, "All power is within you. You can do anything and everything." Yet the masses ignore this. They believe wealth is external, conditional, deserved only by the few. But the truth is this: wealth is governed by vibrational integrity, not effort, not education, not even talent. Vibrational integrity. Are your words aligned with your inheritance, or are they rejecting it? Are you broadcasting royalty or radiating rejection? Say it now. My frequency is rich. My voice is royal. I do not plead, I proclaim. I do not lack, I legislate. This is how the spiritually elite move. They do not explain their desires. They do not justify our dreams. They do not speak of limitation, not in public, not in private, not even in the silence of thought. They only speak what they are willing to manifest. Even Ella Wheeler Wilcox warned, "Talk faith. The world is better off without your uttered ignorance and morbid doubt." What she meant was this: your speech is not harmless. It is a creative force, either constructing paradise or forging prison bars. And so I say again, don't ever say "I can't afford it," not even in jest. Not even when the invoice comes. Not even when the world tempts you to play small for its comfort. Your soul is not here to be financially polite. Your soul is here to govern, to manifest, to shift economies with a sentence. Say this: money obeys my command. Supply rushes to fulfill my tone. I speak and heaven says, yes, that is the sound of a steward. Even now the air around you shifts. Even now, your speech is being recorded in the ledger of spirit. Even now, the law is rewriting your reality in response to this decree. And let us be very clear. This is not about ego. This is not about materialism. This is about spiritual alignment with your divine role. You are not here to fear money. You are not here to be ruled by digits. You are here to channel infinite good into the visible realm. And your greatest tool is not your work ethic. It is your word ethic. Say it now with full authority. My word is my wealth. My tongue is trained. My frequency is flawless. I attract only abundance, for I only speak abundance. You will never have what you speak against. You will never rise above your vocabulary. You cannot declare overflow at dawn and whisper, "Not enough," by dusk. That is spiritual adultery. You must become married to truth, loyal to your decree, faithful to your speech. You must become known in the spiritual realm as the one whose mouth never breaks contract with wealth. Let others say, "That's out of my budget." You say, "That's within divine reach, and I align with the source who funds universes." Let others murmur, "That's too expensive." You say, "If it's in my field of desire, it's within my field of manifestation." Let others sigh, "I can't afford that." You say, "I don't speak those words. I speak only what I wish to multiply." This is how you become unmistakable in heaven, how angels recognize your tone, how money identifies your voice print, how the divine economy moves at your vibration. You are not waiting, you are awakening. There comes a moment in the soul's evolution when everything must change, not because the world demands it, but because your inner covenant has matured. That moment is now. The veil is torn, the fire descends, the scroll is opened, and written upon it, in letters of sacred flame, are these eternal words: "Let no man curse what I have blessed. Let no tongue deny what I have decreed. Let no child of spirit say again, I cannot afford." For to say such a thing is to rip the robe from your own shoulders. To say it is to break the wings of your angels. To say it is to throw your inheritance to the dogs of doubt. Hear me now, child of God. Wealth is not earned. It is accepted. It is not found. It is revealed. It is not a chase. It is a consecration. And consecration begins in speech. Even Andrew Carnegie, titan of industry, whispered behind his empire, "The man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his own mind may take possession of anything else to which he is justly entitled." And what is the first possession of your mind? Your words. Your mouth is the pilot of your life. Your sentences are steering wheels. Your declarations are destinations. You are not lost. You are linguistically misdirected. But no more. Today, your speech becomes sacred. Today, your voice becomes wealth's magnet. Today, your soul is sealed in the speech of kings. Say it now, not softly, but as if all of heaven leans to hear. I no longer speak from my limits. I speak from my lineage. I am descended from divine speech. I am crafted by the word. I speak, and the worlds respond. Every financial struggle you have known, every delay, every detour, every drought, was not punishment. It was a lesson in language. You were being taught to honor your voice, to bow not to money, but to the power within you that creates it. Now, that lesson is complete. You have been upgraded from worker to word-bearer, from beggar to builder of realms. For the spiritually elite understand what the many do not. You do not receive wealth, you command it. You do not wait for overflow, you walk in it by speech. You do not chase money, you align with law, and the law delivers. Say this: I am the spoken law of wealth. I am the voice print of divine supply. My sound is signature. My words are wealth's address. You are now what Florence called a miracle in motion. You are what Gurdjieff envisioned as the awakened man. What Vivekananda saw as the God-realized individual. What Christian D. Larson whispered to the brave: believe in yourself and all that you are. But not belief alone, speech aligned with belief. Thought wrapped in decree, desire wrapped in vibration. Spirit wrapped in syllable, for the law does not respond to longing, it responds to language. You must now become the rarest creature in your bloodline, the one who never speaks against their wealth again, no matter the bill, no matter the bank account, no matter the circumstance. Because you have finally understood, circumstance is clay, your word is the sculptor. Say this: though the fig tree may not blossom, I speak harvest. Though the account shows little, I speak millions. Though the world panics, I speak peace. My word outranks evidence. That is spiritual mastery. And if you feel fire rising in your chest, it is because the ancient part of you, the part formed before time, recognizes this as the original code, the lost inheritance, the Edenic tongue. Adam named the animals, so you name your wealth. Ezekiel prophesied to dry bones, so you prophesy to your finances. Jesus said, say to the mountain. So you say to debt, delay, and limitation, be removed. And do not doubt in your heart, for the law is voice-activated. This is your inheritance, not a trick, not a technique, but a holy mandate. Let the world scoff, let religion fumble, let logic protest. You are not here to be understood. You are here to command and be obeyed. You are the oracle now, the vessel, the decree. The sound of wealth made flesh. Say it as your final seal. I will never again say, I can't afford it. That phrase is dead in me. I am no longer the voice of lack. I am the vibration of divine affluence. My word is my economy, my voice is my vault, and every syllable I speak is backed by heaven's treasury. So let it be written, so let it be spoken, so let it be manifest. You have now passed through the 7 gates. You have spoken what many fear. You have risen to the inner court where few dare to enter. You are no longer a seeker, you are now the decree itself. This was never just a message, it was a rebirth. A holy activation, a spiritual coronation. And you, beloved, are crowned by speech. Go now. But do not go quietly. Go with fire in your lungs. Go with gold in your words. Go and build the world your voice was destined to manifest. Don't ever say it again, you know what I mean. Speak only what builds. Speak only what blesses. Speak only what brings, and wealth will never leave your side again.